Jonathan,
Yeah?
go to sleep,
What?
but don't die of crib death.
You want my dog? What?
Have a dream, eat my cream, and smoke some crystal meth.
You don't want to do the recording instead? You want me to go to sleep? Then have sex with you? Data? It's recording your data.
Yarr, matey. Yarr. No,
Does
you
it
be
talk like a jackass day?
Yes, it is. We be sailing the 7 MP3s.
Oh no. It's Veterans Day here in the United States.
That's why I was doing that voice.
That's the voice of a veteran?
That's my veteran impression. Yarr, me hearties. I lost my leg at Vietnam.
That's is that offensive? I can ask.
Shiver me timbers, World War II. I'm paying tribute. How is that offensive? I'm paying tribute to the men and women who defend this country. God bless America, please. At last.
It's a gross generalization that they're all sort of haggard, seafaring ne'er-do-wells, isn't it?
I never said that. You're the one saying that. I never said they were ne'er-do-wells.
They talk like pirates.
There are noble pirates. Have you not seen Pirates of the Caribbean?
I haven't, actually. I watched a little bit of it.
Captain Jack Sparrow is an affable scamp.
Yeah.
A charming ne'er-do-well.
Exactly. So you see, not all ne'er-do-wells are bad.
Not unlike a Vietnam vet.
Yeah, well is something they will ne'er do. I will grant you that. But they can be charming. We can be on their side and root for them. Yarr! I watched people die who were my friends. The memories haunt me. And that's a joke, apparently, for a podcast full of privileged middle-class white boys who ain't done nothing for no one. I'm
not that white.
For the purposes of this joke, you are. Because you're not actually white.
I'm told frequently. Lately, Asians and African Americans think I look like David Cross, and Caucasians maintain that I look just like the dad from Everybody Loves Raven.
In many ways, you are both those things.
At the same time.
You are Ray Cross.
I'm biracial. I'm sorry.
Because your actual ethnic background is a complete mystery.
Yes, it is.
We know you've got some heritage in Germany.
No.
Or
no.
No.
There's someone with a German accent who is my mother.
That's good enough.
She wasn't born in Germany. It's weirder than that. It's weird.
Okay, well, so, you can trace your bloodline back to Adolf Hitler, is what we're saying. You are descended... So. I'm fairly certain you're descended from Nazi deserters.
Nope.
Nazi dissidents?
No, that's not the case.
They went over to the Allied side. Don't get me wrong. They did some terrible things. The Allies sort of covered it up for them. They did awful things in the war, your ancestors, Jonathan. I've been tracing it on this family tree.
What's on that family tree?
Your great-great-great-grandfather was very good drinking buddies with Joseph Mengele.
That's not... My mom would slap you. She slapped a man once. I don't know if I told you she was a therapist in prison for, I think, 20 years or so.
Yeah.
maybe longer. And one of the prison guards thought it would be funny to be like, "Hey, Germans are Nazis." Isn't that funny? To my mom. And she's like, "No, that's not funny." And she's like, so he like went on the intercom in the prison and was like, paging Jonathan Holmes's mom, make lampshades out of a Jewish guy's ribcage.
Whoa.
Yeah. So she walked in and slapped him in the face, and all his buddies laughed at him.
Oh, too true. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
All German people are Nazis. But he crossed a line. He took it from, just a statement of scientific fact and turned it into something offensive and generalizing.
Unlike saying it's scientific fact that everyone with a German accent is a Nazi. Or
Well, yeah. I mean, he's implying that every German is a bad Nazi. The ones that did the bad things. I'm saying all Germans are Nazis. There's a big difference. There's a gulf of difference between what I said and what that prison guard said when he paged your mum and told her to do that horrible thing.
Yeah, he said she did it.
Exactly. Some Nazis just do the propaganda posters.
They're just artists and...
Exactly, patrons of the arts. Drawing, pictures of the foreign hordes.
I don't feel so good about Nazis, no matter if they're just the painterly kind or the actual killing kind.
Well, I think in many ways that's what this podcast exists to do, Jonathan. In many ways, the Dismal Jesters is a show all about saying, you know what? The Nazis were bang out of order. It wasn't cool what they did. And I think it's about time someone said that in podcast form. And if you are listening, Nazis, I just want to say it's not okay. And I'm hoping that, any other listeners who listen to this who may not be Nazis, German or otherwise, will stand with us in this. Because I realise it's not a popular opinion. But I am just saying, Jonathan, that Nazis, like the ones in your family, crossed a line. It wasn't good what the Nazis did. Okay?
And what do you suggest they do now?
Well, I mean, it's never too late for an apology.
Okay. So you're suggesting that the few surviving active Nazis from them olden days, World War II, it's Veterans Day. So this is topical.
Be a nice gesture.
Veterans of World War II on both the Allies and the Axis Army. Today, some Nazis hiding in South America, probably in their 90s, could come out and say, you know what, guys? I shouldn't have done it.
Exactly. I mean, that's just to begin with. I think they should have a parade. A big apology parade.
Yeah.
Where we organise. We could organise this, Jonathan.
We can?
This is a great idea. We could go to the centre, in what I consider the centre of cultural healing for the world, the city of Boston, which, correct me if I'm wrong, you happen to live there, Jonathan.
Pretty close to it, yeah.
That's convenient.
Oh, yeah.
Because if we do this in the cultural healing centre of the world, Boston, and you are Boston's favourite son, Jonathan Holmes, so we will actually get some good, we'll get the word out. People will say, look, I heard that the Nazis... I heard that the Nazis are going to apologise in Boston. Will Boston's favourite son be there? Yes, he will be. I'm going to be there. I do not want to miss this. You almost had me at Nazis. Jonathan Holmes sealed the deal. And we'll put posters up, Jonathan Holmes meets the Nazi stars.
Who are the Nazi stars?
Whatever ones are still alive, and prominent members of the neo-Nazis.
Oh, right.
The young bloods that are keeping the spirit and tradition alive, but who doubtless feel pretty bad about what happened.
I don't think so. I think they became Nazis because they are pretty gross a lot of the time. The neo-Nazis.
I'm sensing a lot of judgment in your voice.
I do.
To be honest, it was that kind of intolerance that led to all the trouble.
I've met quite a few neo-Nazis, as you might expect, and they're not all bad, of course. But what they're doing is bad, for sure.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's bad.
But that's why we need to get them all together and let them feel sorry for what they've done. It'll be a healing experience.
One of my best friends is a neo-Nazi, okay? I have nothing against them.
Really? Does he know about... That was just a lie. One of those lie jokes. One of my favorites.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, we marched through the city of Boston with all of the Nazis we can gather. And they can hold up flags and beat on drums. And maybe we could get them to just say, I'm sorry, in the German language. Over and over again, really loud, in a kind of enforced, almost regimental manner. So they can see this big organized sort of show of sorrow.
Uh-huh. So to march through the town, chanting something.
In German.
Yeah, in
heavy
formation.
German.
Right.
Yeah.
A language not too many people know. And would they be dressed in the formal Nazi attire?
Well,
I would assume. Nazis? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a Nazi march through Boston.
And you'd be there, Jonathan, showing solidarity, proving that you don't think you're above the Nazis. Because really, who can make that arrogant claim?
I really do think I am.
To show your solidarity, you'll be there wearing a kind of SS uniform.
The Photoshops. It's tough, every episode of anything I do with you, Jim, is just one more Photoshop that will keep me from ever getting hired in a real job ever again.
Well, Jonathan, you are the all-original Ubermensch.
I'm not. They wouldn't have me. I'm not Aryan enough.
Well,
I am too Everybody Loves Raymond dad. Not Raymond, Raven. I mix those two up sometimes.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yes.
That's so Raven.
Or Raymond, yeah.
We're promoting... This is the whole point of promoting tolerance among the Nazi party. That's why you'll be there, like, at the forefront, leading the march with a big stick and an SS uniform and a hat with a skull and crossbones on it.
Like a pirate? We're dragging the pirates back into this, poor guys?
And you'll be marching there going, Zig Holmes! Zig Holmes! Zig Holmes!
I'm that into myself and Nazi-ish, pirate-ish stuff.
And you've given everyone in the parade bricks with a note tied to it with "I'm sorry" written on it. And we'll go up to various businesses run by like local businessmen, many of whom actually didn't get a start in the United States, but thanks to the land of the free, have built themselves a small empire. And we'll be throwing those apology bricks through their windows.
We started the show talking about Metallica and Megadeth. We were singing. You sang a beautiful song, Jim.
Yeah, but the file got lost. It didn't record.
And we thought, oh, that's all right. That wasn't that good. The listeners aren't going to enjoy hearing Jim sing a really funny Megadeth song. I sang, I think, at least 2 Metallica songs. Conrad was in there talking about the X-Files. It was a really good episode. But we're like, no, start over. And this is what they get. It's Nazi.
Exactly what they were expecting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. I missed that X-Files episode we were doing before. It was good.
I'm just saying.
Yeah? You're just saying?
Exactly.
Yeah?
Exactly. You're my good friend, Jonathan Holmes.
We're friends.
Welcome once again to the Dismal Jesters podcast.
Oh, yeah. We should introduce.
The drizzly, dreary, grisly, leering, horrific, shitty little podcast.
How are people taking to the name so far, you think?
Relatively well.
Mm.
Some people didn't like it. Some people thought it was a shit name for a podcast. You know what I think about those people, Jonathan?
What's that?
I view them lower than I'd view a dog.
Wow. We got some advice from one of our listeners who said that the name, though it conveys the idea very well, it's not marketable enough. So I threw out some ideas. Maybe we should call it Smunch. And he's like, definitely. Smunch. And then Smunch. Yeah, all caps.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if that website I wanted to make, written by 12-year-olds, except me, Conrad, and Jim oversee them and write editorial occasionally, is called Smunch. And this becomes the Smunch Cast. And he was overjoyed. Smunch.
Wow. That's not happening. I will. It's a nice idea.
Is it?
But I'm going to take a little knife and stick it in that idea's jugular, ever so gently, twist and pull.
I'm not sure it's such a... I was half joking, but he was maybe half joking in response. I'm not sure. But there are a lot of things that are just called like plush or boof or...
Well, we talked about this last week with YouTube channel names.
Oh, I forgot. We did
just
talk
about
It's really weird.
Apple Jackson Christmas Capers 36 million subscribers. Some of us are foolish trying to keep their own name or have clever names for things. It's too much.
Yeah, it's not marketable, I guess.
Well, I came to the conclusion years before I started writing online about geek culture and stuff, that nothing I ever do, will be quote-unquote better by the internet standards. Nothing I ever do will be better than a photo someone took of their cat with some bacon sellotapes to it.
Yes, I think you are correct.
Yeah, it's true.
You become a lot happier when you realize that that's it. That's the bar, and apparently it's higher than anything you can do.
It's insurmountable.
Yeah, you really just stop giving a fuck once you realize that.
And that's the thinking that went into taping the bacon to the cat, the kitty cat, was we don't care if this is successful. That's what people like on YouTube, it seems. Not caring that much.
Not giving a fuck about anything.
Yes, it's very marketable, like Smunch.
Very much like Smunch.
Exactly
the Dismal
like
Jesters. Too many syllables, too much thought. Into
Perhaps.
what the title might mean.
Yeah, it's words, not as opposed to one word or one sound.
Yeah, just... It's not... The podcast isn't called...
Although not an inaccurate description.
Yeah.
True. Good point.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I'm fascinated with the actor who played Toombs on The X-Files ever since the part of the show that didn't get recorded where Conrad was talking about an interesting X-Files tribute album with the Foo Fighters and Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. I haven't stopped thinking about Toombs that whole time. Have you seen the Toombs episode?
One of the episodes. One of the very rare returning monsters of the week on the X-Files.
Toombs.
The Contortionist, if I remember. It's been many years. I don't think I've actually watched those episodes since the 90s. But if I recall correctly, he was a contortionist.
Yeah, and maybe not human.
Yeah.
He was beyond contorting in a way a human could. He'd like come out of your toilet and eat your ass and stuff. And I think he had jaundice. Like he had some sort of liver problems too. And he just had to eat guys every 7 years to deal with it. Yeah,
I remember now.
The actor who played Toombs is 51, and he's just getting divorced now from his 18-year-old wife, who he married when she was 16.
What?
I know. You're like, that guy's creepy. He can crawl up my toilet and butt munch me? Gross. Well, in real life, he's probably not that weird. What?
Wow.
He's weirder in real life. Yeah, he just publicly married a 16-year-old.
I was just about to suggest that if he got divorced, we were going to find him another date, but I don't think we're going to go down that route now. Unless we can find him a lovely girlfriend among the Nazi party that we're gathering.
He does look like he would Nazi. He would Nazi on the weekends, probably.
Nazi on
Just look at his face, He's a part-time Nazi.
He's a weird-looking fella.
Yeah, creepy. Had a sociopathy to his kind of emotionless, mask-like expressionless features. Yeah, creepy. Good times. Yeah. Did you just say he's the man?
I said creepy man.
Oh, I thought you were like, he's the man.
I do not think he is the man.
He belongs in an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Ah, that would have been a perfect fit. I wonder why that never happened. He was making the Green Mile around then, I think, so he was probably too highfalutin. He played the terrible person in the Green Mile as well as the X-Files.
Ah, well, the bad guard.
Yeah, who was just like being mean and stuff. It's a good movie.
Being a meanie to John Coffey.
Michael Clark Duncan. No longer with us, unfortunately.
Sad loss for us all. I think in many ways you could be the next Michael Clark Duncan. I think you should just put out a press release, Jonathan, telling everyone you're the next Michael Clark Duncan.
I could. It wouldn't go over well. I would be told I'm not darn brown enough, not musky, not thick. Those are almost words. It's funny how sometimes I just can't pronounce words anymore. You've noticed, haven't you, over the years? Yeah,
I've spoken to you for many years, Jonathan Holmes.
I know, it's been a while now.
It has.
Musky.
Yeah.
Thick.
We've had some new listeners, by the way.
We have, I'm sorry.
Since we started, because we've worked together for many years and have many fan bases from around the world.
I
said world funny because I almost launched into the Daft Punk song of the same name, but then decided against it.
I was going to contradict you and say, no, we don't. But you're right. We actually do. There are people in multiple countries that pay attention to things we do. It's weird.
Well, indeed. Well, we used to do a show together called Podtoid.
Oh, that's right.
And we don't do that now.
It's true.
We do this show, which is totally different. And it's called the Dismal Jesters, which proves
I challenge you to find commonalities between that show and this one.
Exactly.
I mean, come on. Totally different.
It is like comparing Clarissa Explains It All to A Clockwork Orange.
Really?
They're that wildly different.
I would like to see Melissa Joan Hart as Alex DeLarge. Oh my god.
I would also like to see Malcolm McDowell as Clarissa, to be honest.
Today's McDowell or yesterday's McDowell?
Absolutely today's McDowell.
Today's McDowell. Wow.
Hey, Sam.
That would be terrifying.
Hey, Sam!
Have you seen
McDowell?
Have you seen these new ads with him and James Earl Jones acting out doing dramatic readings of Facebook friend requests and shit?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
For Sprint. Oh my god, they're good.
That is good.
So
I don't even know what they're advertising, but it's good.
It's for Sprint, you know,
sort of.
How they can do stuff online. But it reminds me of those weird, like, we're going to spend a shit ton of money to hire these people because we're .com and we have all this money kind of ads from like 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And so it makes me happy.
Well, they're both guys who will do anything for like $5 in a cheeseburger.
Malcolm McDowell he's one of those actors I respect because he just is a glorious sellout.
James Earl Jones as well.
Yeah, I respect a good, honest sellout. I watched Malcolm McDowell in the new Silent Hill movie. He was in Silent Hill Revelations, I think it's called.
I almost watched it on the basis that he was in it.
It's worth it. Actually, the whole movie is hilarious.
Really?
It's a great comedy. It's not supposed to be a comedy, but it is a fantastic comedy.
I liked the first one a little.
I actually like the first one a lot. I'm a big fan of the video game series Silent Hill, Jonathan.
Me too.
And I thought the first Silent Hill movie was okay. Second one, shit, but funny. Well worth watching as a comedy, especially once Malcolm McDowell comes out the water, is all chained up, wearing like a green, essentially a mesh tank top.
What's he doing?
Just being weird. Just overacting as usual. Just going, I'm Malcolm McDowell. And you can see it all underneath the mesh tank top, Jonathan.
His body?
You can see his flappy McDowell tits.
Is he a supernatural being? Is he a tortured soul? What is he?
If you've ever played the game Silent Hill 3,
Yes.
the main character, Heather Mason, has a fight with a guy whose name I think is called Leonard in the hospital.
Leonard?
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know why the fact that the guy's name is Leonard made me laugh so hard.
It might not be called Leonard.
It might be.
It's been a good few years since I played it. I've not played Silent Hill 3 since the HD collection came out. Well, it wasn't that long ago. I got a terrible memory. But anyway, there's this guy who is presented to you as a guy, but then you see him and he's a monster and you fight him as a monster. They don't do the monster bit, I don't think. Again, it's been a while since I saw Revelations. But he is playing that character. He's all chained up in this watery area, just being all vague and giving vague plot points. So he's that. Does
she fight him in the movie?
I can't remember now. I think he might try and get her at one point and she gets away. And you see his flappy little Malcolm McDowell tits. So that's worth watching. 10 stars out of 5 for Silent Hill Revelations 3D, which I've not seen in 3D.
I wouldn't see how you could. Yeah, I forgot that it was. Yeah.
So that's our movie review of the week. Silent Hill Revelation 3D starring Malcolm McDowell's tits.
I was going to give you guys some movie homework this week.
Yeah?
Which is to watch a 3-minute clip of Brother Theodore in a movie that I believe is called The Granddaughter of Dracula. Have you seen it already?
No.
Let me think. I don't think I've seen The Granddaughter of Dracula.
You know who Brother Theodore is?
I've heard the name. Yeah, probably from you.
Probably, yeah. I would want him to be the next actor we talk about a lot, if you guys like him enough to do so, because he's really important. He's probably like 5'3", white hair, like Beatles haircut, wide, strong jaw, some sort of accent. And he was in The Burbs. Do you remember The Burbs? That'll help.
No.
No?
This
Conrad?
is a cultural reference going way over my head.
It's Tom Hanks. This? Have you seen the movie The Burbs?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the movies Tom Hanks is dreadfully ashamed of. He really feels it's bad, but
he's not wrong.
There's 20 minutes of that movie that are the best movie ever, where Tom Hanks, Bruce Dern, that other guy, and Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia, is in it. They go to their neighbor's house and eat sardines and are miserable. And at one point, Brother Theodore, who plays one of the neighbors, goes, "I don't know if you noticed the moving van. It was outside all day." Like he gets so mad at the end of saying, "Oh, it's so good." I could watch that line a million times. And in Granddaughter of Dracula, he's got a scene where he's like, "She will never come and abuse me, rub me, call me her little yum yum." Like he screams at the top. He's this little fat guy with white hair screams.
Oh,
yeah.
Brother Theodore.
Look into it.
I'll add that to my list of things to do. Yeah. I can't do it. I heard your cat in the background there.
Yeah,
I can't do that this week. We're recording this on Monday.
I know, that's weird.
It's going to go up on Wednesday because consistency is important for the children that listen.
Sure.
We don't want to upset them in their routine. Children get very upset and volatile if their routine is abruptly changed on them.
True. Yeah, and we're certainly not going to have to deal with 2 days of, where's Dismal Jesters questions from the throng that know that we've recorded this on Monday and are impatiently awaiting its release on Wednesday.
Yeah,
that's true.
Oh, we won't tell them jack shit. They don't know this is done.
They know.
What?
I told them.
Of course they do.
Jonathan!
I thought they should know.
You foolish.
I wanted to get the question.
We're screwed now. I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy.
You've ruined us. I'm so glad I'm going to be away from a computer for 12 hours tomorrow. That's
why
we're
going to come back home from your trip, Jim, and your house is going to have been razed to the ground, and there's just going to be people milling around wondering where the fuck the podcast was.
They actually pulled my computer apart. They didn't try turning it on. They actually tried breaking into it and yanking its innards out, trying to pull the podcast out of it.
Right.
because they're savages. Anyway, yeah, I'm on a road trip tomorrow. That's why I ain't going nowhere.
What are you doing?
So, why did I say that sentence then? I'm on a road trip tomorrow. That's why I'm not going anywhere. That's why that wasn't the reason or the thing. No, we are doing this. We're recording this on Monday. It's going to go up on Wednesday as normal because we've just started this podcast and I wanted to be consistent. But I'm going to be in a car for 12 hours with my friend Flannel. We are going to drive to North Carolina, where my employer's headquarters is.
So how long of a drive is that going to be?
That is 12 hours.
12 hours. What do you do in a car for 12 hours, Jim?
Mostly wanking.
Are you driving the car?
No, I don't drive.
Oh, that's good.
That's why my friend Flannel is there.
Oh, I figured it out now.
So you managed to sucker one of your friends into driving you 12 hours up to North Carolina.
Yeah, by mistake.
Good show.
Do you have shaken steak there?
I have no idea any of the words you're saying to me.
Shaken steak.
Just saying it again does not help.
Shake it. Come on.
Oh, yeah, I get it now. Yeah, I've totally had those.
You gotta get those. Shaken steak. It's a sit-down restaurant where the waitress I had anyway. Have you seen that bit on Tim and Eric with Casey and his brother?
Yeah.
Where he's like, I like to ride a choo-choo train, choo-choo, singing.
Yeah.
You know that part? Yeah, she's wearing makeup exactly like that. Like 6 teeth. It's being like, hey, what can I put on your burger? And you get a McDonald's quality burger at a sit-down restaurant, and you leave a tip. And it's freaking delicious. Shaken steak. You should go.
Okay, well, we don't have those here.
A McDonald's quality burger. I like how you said that in such a way as though that was a positive. Like it was a selling point.
Yeah.
McDonald's quality.
McDonald's quality at twice the price.
No, it's cheap too. It's so weird. You sit down, you pay literally $4 for your entire meal, and then leave a 20% tip that is like 40 cents, 80 cents. So weird. Shaken steak, you should go. Are you looking forward to the trip, Jim?
Kind of.
Yeah?
I'm certainly looking forward to getting there. The 12 hours is going to be interesting. Flannel's going to try and do some of his work in the car while driving. He's going to do conference calls. I'm going to try and do some of my work.
What?
We'll try and fill the other 11 hours with something.
How can you do conference calls while you're driving with you in the car?
People can work with me around.
Yeah, really?
If they're not you, yes.
We all realize that you can't control yourself in the presence of Jim, but let's not, just assume everybody.
What? I think I'm pretty decent at controlling myself in general.
You're always trying to get my clothes off.
When we were together at PAX.
You were always trying to say put on a bikini.
I was, I think, relatively pleasant and polite. We went out to dinner once. We had a nice time.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim, I dropped this. Could you pick it up for me? It was ceaseless.
But you were writing songs about me to me while people are asking you for an autograph. You would just ignore them and be like, he's a sweet boy, little baby, cold boy, want to touch that boy, while they're asking you to, just sign their T-shirt or whatever.
Well, I was in the middle of an important thing.
I imagine a cross-country trip with you if I were on a conference call talking to the CEO or the boss. There would just be a tongue near my face so, while I'm driving and doing a conference call. Or just like, ooh, 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 just rubbing my head or whatever.
You make me sound like a monster.
No, you're an affectionate sweetheart. You're America's sweetheart. And I love to spend time with you, but I don't think I could work at the same time.
I like to spend time with you. I like to sit next to you and ask you if you're all right. And tell you that you're all right. Just so that you know.
You were telling me I was all right. It's true. We were sitting on a bed watching Max Headroom, and you gave me a little rub and said, hey, you're all right.
There you go. That made you feel good.
It was. It was very nice.
Very affirming.
I was affirmed.
And I was firm. Everybody won in that little exchange. So I need to think of things to do. I'm bringing Zelda: A Link Between Worlds on my Nintendo 3DS.
I'm really looking forward to that game.
I'll bring my Windows Surface Pro 2.
Oh, cool.
I haven't put any entertainment on it. Oh, I've got a book.
Which one?
I got a book. My friend Jeff recommended it to me. I can't remember what it's called.
All right.
It's about some bounty hunter who goes to some alien world, and he's really good at everything.
Sounds good. No PS4 for you then? Isn't that coming out now?
That's why I'm on my road trip.
Oh, exciting.
A whole bunch of people went to some review event in New York.
I know. I was supposed to go, maybe.
I've got an invite. I'm looking at it right now. But I didn't go because, to me, the idea of getting on a plane and going to New York to get a review unit and coming back with it was too much effort.
So instead, you're going to drive 12 hours to North Carolina and hang out in an office for 2 days to play said PlayStation 4 and then drive back.
But that's on my terms.
Fair enough.
That's my decision. That's not someone else telling me what to do.
And New York is uncomfortable too. It's a wonderful city.
I'm not a fan of that city.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a great city. A lot of work.
Plus, I mean, a PS4 is coming to me. It's just going to be a bit later. So the only thing I've really missed is the ability to post a photo of myself looking smug with the PS4 and the games, and then putting that on Twitter, like all the other journalists did. So I've missed out on that. Oh dear. But I will be going to North Carolina to play Killzone Shadowfall at the Escapist office so I can do the review, and then when I come back, there should be a PlayStation 4.
Oh, cool.
And then I can just continue doing my job. So everyone wins. And it was a good idea for me to go to North Carolina anyway, because I just started the job as the Escapist magazine's video game reviews editor.
Right.
So it's a good idea for me to be there, get to know all the team intimately, and sing in their ears when they're trying to work. And, yeah, just oversee all the coverage and stuff.
Are you going to meet a lot of people?
Maybe.
Yeah, they love you at The Escapist.
I want to go in. I want to walk into the office and make everyone scared. I want to be the guy that's rarely at the office, but when I do, everyone goes quiet. And I just look at them and just say, do your work.
Is Andrea Renee going to be there?
I don't know. Maybe.
Your interactions with her are forever crystallized in my mind as solid gold crystals. Because she would come up to you and be like, Jim, oh my God. And you'd be like, oh, hello, hi. She'd be like, are you going to come to the thing tonight? Oh, we're so excited to see you. It's going to be so great. We're all getting together. You're like, yeah, might not go. Might not make it. I'm sorry. Yeah, just not sure if I'm going. And she's like, yeah, well, you should really go. It's a free dinner. Everyone's going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Uh-huh. Yeah. Don't know if I'm going. And then she'd walk away and you're like, I feel bad, but I'm just not going.
I was tired.
I know. You like her. We all do. How can you not like her?
Andrea. She's awesome. For
people who don't know, she worked at The Escapist now, and I actually worked with her when she worked at Machinima on Teenage Pokemon. So she's a mutual acquaintance. Very nice person. She's friends with Nick Chester, too. She did karaoke with him.
She turned up to a karaoke party with Nick Chester at Harmonix, and then she punched me. She said, you didn't come to the dinner. And I said, I'm sorry. And she punched me in the shoulder. She didn't hold back either. Just whack.
No, that's Andrea. She's, I hope you meet her and see her again. I wish I could be there.
Well, I saw her earlier in October.
Oh, right.
I was in North Carolina again for the Escapist Expo.
Uh-huh.
We barely exchanged 2 words that whole weekend. And then, as what happens when someone doesn't speak to me for more than 5 minutes, I've decided she hates me now.
Oh, no.
There's no real evidence for that. But I've decided it based on no evidence. This I decide about everyone I've ever met.
It's true.
It took me a long time to realise that Stuttering Craig from Screw Attack doesn't hate me.
He likes you a lot.
He does, but I decided he hated my guts. It was the same with Yahtzee, sort of the other sort of really well-known guy at The Escapist. Mm-hmm. First couple of days when I first met him, he hates me. He thinks I'm a piece of shit. And now, of course, we do a fucking show together and stuff. So
yeah, that show's been going on for months now, hasn't it? Rhyme Down, Spectacular.
For most of the year, yeah, I think.
Yeah. Oh wow. Jeez, time flies. Speaking of the PS4, though, I read a story that made me feel fantastic about the PS4 today. Coming out of that big event in New York City right now.
Yeah.
They were interviewing the people working on the next infamous Second Son, I think it's called. And they were asking, why do you need a PS4 for this game? What does the PS4 do that you couldn't have been done on the PS3 for Infamous? And they're like, sometimes our main character has like one of those oh shit moments, but now he doesn't have to say oh shit. You can see it on his face that he's thinking, oh shit. And I was like, wait, you did $400 for oh shit face? Is what? That's your selling point? Oh shit face? I mean, I thought there was some pretty good oh shit faces on PS3 and Xbox 360. Even Wii U had a couple. I mean, Wii regular had a couple of good oh shit faces.
Oh yeah, well that ties into this idea that photorealistic graphics are the only way to convey any sort of meaningful emotion visually, which is bullshit, Jonathan.
Well, I'm not versed enough in the videos I've seen.
Oh yeah, well, the Lion King is supposedly a good film, but it's nothing if you compare it to this photograph I took of a real tiger. You can actually see this tiger thinking, oh shit, look at this drawing of Scar falling off a cliff. Fucking nothing. I don't know what he's thinking as he's falling into the fire with all the hyenas underneath him going, oh, we're going to eat him. Spoiler warning, by the way, for The Lion King.
And they are doing some stylistic, expressive stuff with knack on the PS4. I think Sony's got a great lineup, but I think they're in a weird position where if you try to explain why you really need the processing power of the PS4 for graphics, all they have is like, well, the lightning looks brighter, and oh shit, face.
Yeah.
That's all they got.
I'm going to stick with my Game Boy.
Well, I'm all for getting a PS4 when the games are there, but it's hard to get excited about it just for the graphics. I don't know if you guys are feeling that way. I know Killzone looks really... The environments look much nicer in the new Killzone, but I feel like the leap isn't as big as it was from PS2 to PS3, and definitely not as big as it was from PS1 to PS2.
Well, I think that that's the same of all technology. There's just diminishing returns with these things.
Sure.
You know, everything reaches a level where you're going to need something dramatic to happen outside of your own industry to actually facilitate better. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Not to mention the costs of such a thing, Jonathan. So, yeah.
Conrad, you're a video game man.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I have no opinion whatsoever about video games. I don't even know why we're talking about them.
I've been watching a lot of Korean films.
Oh yeah, all right. Like The Host.
I say a lot. 3 in 2 weeks.
That is kind of a lot.
That's more than most Americans know about Korea.
This is true.
So I'm cultural. Don't know about any of you.
What have you been watching?
I watched A Tale of Two Sisters. I saw the American remake of that before, like years ago.
There's an American remake of that?
Yeah, it's called The Uninvited.
Oh, I saw.
There's an American remake of everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they look at it and say, too foreign! I'm gonna remake this with Americans. That's my impression of everyone who is in America.
Well, if they were required to read subtitles, audiences wouldn't go.
That is true.
And if they're forced to watch bad dubbing, audiences wouldn't go. So the only option for them is to remake the entire fucking thing. You know, God forbid we manage to figure out a way to convince American audiences that, hey, you know, subtitles aren't the worst goddamn thing in the world to have in a movie theater.
Or they could just make a movie based on a new idea. It's so weird to me when, like, I get why sequels and remakes are so popular because the consumer today is very stubborn and very fearful, and they don't want to try something new. They want a built-in assurance that they're going to like it. So, it's Transformers. Oh, it's G.I. Joe. Or it's Thor again. I'll see that because I liked it before, or I liked it when I was a kid. But Tale of Two Sisters, what's the what was the hope there?
Well, it's actually been quite popular to remake a lot of Asian horror.
Yeah.
There's a remake of The Grudge, there's a remake of The Ring, that sort of stuff. So, yeah, they redid that one as The Uninvited. Tale of Two Sisters, fucking terrifying.
Yep.
Creepy.
I own it.
I liked it a lot. And then I watched Old Boy, which I've been meaning to watch that for like a decade.
I made it like halfway through Old Boy, and I don't think sometimes I'll finish watching a movie and not realize that I've actually done it when I think about it again a week later. I'll finish the piece of entertainment that I was enjoying, but I somehow have forgotten the last 20 minutes of it.
Ah.
And so that may have happened. I may have seen the whole thing and completely forgotten. But it was unsettling and weird and fun. I liked it. It just made me feel icky seeing him in that room.
Oh, yeah. Sure. The Room's just the precursor as well. But
right.
Yeah, they're very weird film, but once he gets... Just the style of that film I love. The music and the way the scenes are shot. Like the whole corridor fight scene, which they did in one take, and a lot of the shot... Korean cinema, I've noticed, just some beautiful shots of things. Incredibly... It's... I can see why Quentin Tarantino seems to be a big fan of it, because just everything seems to be set up to be an iconic shot of something. So yeah, I enjoyed Old Boy, and more recently I watched I Saw the Devil. I
haven't heard of that one.
It's actually the guy who played Old Boy in Old Boy. The guy who played Old Boy. He's not called Old Boy. But the main character from Old Boy is the bad guy in I Saw the Devil. Real horrible, terrifyingly creepy man. Who almost becomes the victim of another guy's revenge. Like, it's there's something I've noticed in not just Korean, but a lot of Asian cinema, is just how intimate you get with every character. Even the bad guys, who are some of the most deplorable villains in cinema. And you almost can sympathize with everyone. Not because they're even being presented as good people, but because you end up spending so much time with them as characters, as people. And you don't get that with a lot of American films. Just this sense of intimacy. And they're not longer than American films, a lot of the sort of Korean films. But they just spend so much more time with the characters themselves that by the end of it, you just start to feel how they feel and everything. It's incredible writing and sort of character development they do.
Yeah, the priority, from what I know, not being a huge expert, but my opinion anyway, based on the Korean movies I've seen, is that the priority is really on getting a feeling from the people and seeing there are multiple dimensions, whereas American film tends to broader strokes, easier to compute. They expect you to not want to pay attention too hard or feel anything too deep a lot of the time. More cartoonish overall.
So in many ways, I am to you a Korean film. Because I want you to experience things hard and deep.
Yeah, it's traumatizing. I've from what I've read about Korean film, a lot of the directors bring with them the trauma that they've gone through under the Korean government and want to express those ideas in a way that will help the world understand the plight of the Korean today. So I feel like I'm in a plight with you, for sure. It's a plight.
You are so beautiful to me. You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see, Jonathan Holmes? I want you to take off your shirt and put on a mesh tank top.
That'd be so gross.
Can you imagine it, though?
I can. Can
you
imagine.
Can you imagine if
pimple,
like, some businessmen, right?
Hairy shoulders. Yeah.
Imagine this, right? Though. Some businessmen are taking their friends out to a strip club, right? I'm not a fan of strip clubs. That's because I've never been. I might be, but I've never been. But it sounds good to say you're not a fan of strip clubs.
True.
So I will say that. And some businessmen are going. They might be bad people. they're like, let's celebrate a business deal by objectifying women. That sounds like a great idea. Let's all go and drink sarsaparillas. And so they go to the strip club, Jonathan, where they are promised exotic women from around the world. And
for stripping?
And for stripping.
Ugh.
It says on a sign outside, hot women for stripping with you. Interested? Question mark. Come in and watch them in their bras.
It's a long sign or wide. Very,
it's the
very
name
wide.
of the business. It's just in big neon. That's what it is. Hot women for strippers with you. Interested? You see them without their clothes on and drink a sarsaparilla.com. And they've got a light. They've got a light with a woman on a pole, right? And then bits of the light turn off to show another bit of the light, so the leg is kicking up and down on the pole.
Oh, right. Like
Classy.
Porky's.
Like Porky's.
Yeah, with the pig that shows its butt to you.
Yeah. So how about that?
Okay, what are we talking about?
So you're with this concept so far. I'm just trying to put you in the mindset of some businessmen.
Okay.
So that you can vicariously live through the delight of what they're about to experience.
So I am a businessman at a strip club.
Well, you, Jonathan Holmes, are not.
Okay, good.
You're imagining a scene in which a
yeah.
goes to a strip.
We're painting for you.
Painting with words.
Word painting.
Word painting. I see it.
They go into hot women for stripping with you, interested. They take their clothes off a bit and you see them in their bras and drink sarsaparilla.com. They go in there, sit at a table, order their sarsaparillas, and shake hands. They're constantly shaking hands because they keep doing business deals. Like that quick. Just, I'll give you $1 million. Deal! Shaking hands. I want $1 million in stocks and shares. You got it, buddy. Hey, why don't you buy this investment, NASDAQ? I like it. Let's shake hands. They're doing that. And then all the beautiful, gorgeous women are on stage, and they all go away. And the announcer says, businessmen who are here to watch hot stripping with ladies in their bras and their underwear a bit. I would like you to welcome to the stage a very special guest, what we have got here today. His name is Jonathan Holmes. And you come out, Jonathan, in a t-shirt and jeans. And go hold the microphone and say, what would you say at a strip club if all the businessmen have stopped talking and are all looking at you, and you can just hear the silent slurping of sarsaparilla, which isn't that silent. I don't know why I said silent, but the room is silent. All you can hear is the slurping of sarsaparilla.
I would greet them and thank them. I'd probably say, hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to our establishment tonight. It's very nice to see you. Yeah. I'm here on stage for you.
Take it off!
Take your fucking shirt off.
So no, that's not my role tonight. Here to talk to you about the PlayStation 4.
I got fat stacks, and I'm gonna make it rain on your ass. Take your damn shirt off, boy.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't want their
point,
money. Yeah.
At that point, you take your shirt off to reveal underneath a mesh tank top.
No.
You pull down your jeans, and there are another pair of jeans, but they've been cut off above the thigh.
That's high.
That's so damn high.
Yeah.
It's essentially someone tried to make a thong out of jeans and did a real botched job of it.
Gross.
All frayed at the end. A long strip of the denim is like hanging down to like your ankle. The entire side of one of the jeans is still on. But it doesn't matter.
Thin strip coming from near the back.
Yeah, but someone has very helpfully taken some like Games Workshop paint and painted you can't see this bit on the denim, so people won't see it. And they'll just think you're wearing normal cut-off jean shorts. And then the music starts playing. Would you like to guess what the music is?
Rush, Free Will.
No.
That would be good. That would be good.
It would be good. No, I think something a bit more saucy for the environment. It would probably go
Okay.
something along the lines of, I'm just making this song up on the spot here. It would probably go along the lines of, I don't know, dun 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 dun.
Oh, Jesus.
Dun,
I thought
dun, dun, dun,
I kind of imagined we'd leave this concept
dun,
at
dun,
home.
dun, dun,
Now that we're out
dun,
on
dun,
our own.
dun, dun, Jonathan. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. And that's when the announcer, who it turns out is me, goes, businessmen who are doing your business deals, I want you to put your sweaty, clammy hands together for Freaky Constantina! And that's when you become the stripping sensation known as Freaky Constantina.
But they know that I'm not. They know I'm Jonathan Holmes. They know I'm just a guy doesn't want to be there. Rather talk about the PlayStation 4 if the
You're
graphics.
shaking your hips. They're throwing full glasses of sarsaparilla at you
I'm really not like that.
to make it wet and sexy. They're like, I'm gonna make this wet and sexy, baby. I'm gonna throw my full glass of sarsaparilla at you. And they throw their full glass of sarsaparilla at you, and it hits you in the leg. The glass.
Ouch. Good break.
It won't. It might.
Just bounces a little.
Be careful.
Wet leg.
If they break, that's coming out of your wages.
But either way, I got sticky wet leg now. Hairy, sticky wet leg.
Oh, it drives the businessman wild.
Maybe pimple on leg.
Because you do that dance you do where you put your arms crossed above your head, right? And sway your hips and get down into a crouching position and then sway all back up again to be stood up.
I'm not familiar with that. Is that
You turn around, you put your hands on your hips, and then you rotate your anus.
What?
That's how they do it, doesn't it?
But my own anus rotates within its place? Within the butt?
Yeah, and the inertia of that moves the whole thing. And
So
everyone
it's-
goes, woo! I
It's
know
like-
he's rotating his anus up there.
So it's like a turbine within. It's like it can spin within, like a gyroscope almost.
In many
Is that the
ways,
right word?
it's the original perpetual motion machine. But an anus.
And then the rest of my body, from the kinetic energy, begins to shake and twerk.
Yeah.
Mm.
And you go down and people are shoving money into your cut off jean shorts, and you look at the guys and go, don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? Love a boy. I'm Freaky Constantina, your girlfriend now.
That wouldn't happen.
Give me $50, I'll give you a handy.
Uh,
Handy.
I
You
don't
didn't
think
summon anything.
a hand job.
I didn't say that.
What's a handy?
You brought that to the table.
I don't know what a handy means.
I meant Andy, as in Andy Cap Comics.
Oh, I'll give you
them
an Andy.
Cap comic strip if they give you $50. But I like your idea of hand jobs a bit better.
Oh, I hate hand jobs. No thanks. They're a real problem. They're like in my top 5 biggest problems, probably.
You don't want to be Freaky Constantina.
No, I'm not. Other people can take the mantle. Other people who feel it truly inside them want it to come out. I have no judgments. I think it's a great idea. It's
What's
just
above hand jobs on your top 5 out of curiosity?
I want to
For
know this whole
problems?
list. I want to know
Yeah.
Jonathan Holmes's top 5 list of problems.
Oh, I don't know. I can't stand by the list. I'm just making it up as I go along. Waking up early is definitely one of them. Watching what I eat. Then hand jobs, probably. After that, feeling discouraged unnecessarily. Because we all have tough times, you know? Shouldn't get down about it. Then probably after that, I don't know. Rim jobs. They're also
Okay,
a
so
problem.
first of all, hand jobs are a bigger problem than rib jobs.
Yeah.
And
Overall.
second, I don't know. When I think problems, I think genocide in Darfur.
Oh no, this is just a personal
Those are
problem. This is true. In terms of big problems, third world problems, real world problems. That's not that list. This is just personal day-to-day problems, for sure.
On which hand job is that regular an issue?
Yeah, it's a problem. It's a thought-provoking problem. I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how to knock it. I don't know how to get it out of my life. Hand job. And, bouts of low self-esteem. Thinking, oh, last Teenage Pokemon it only got 250,000 views. What'd I do wrong?
I have a real hard time knocking out the hand job problem.
I'm trying to get rid of that hand job problem. And less frequent is just not getting rim jobs, but just thinking about other people giving them. It's like, oh, geez, don't do it. Oh, you don't know what's going to come out of the butt. You don't know if it's clean yet. How do you, if you clean it yourself?
Yeah.
Enema it yourself, clean it yourself, first-hand account. You know what you're getting into. Sure, maybe. Even then, you don't know. You don't know
what you're saying is that the only people who should really be giving rim jobs bleach anally as a profession.
Pretty much. If you submit the bleach to the butthole, then you might be safe. But even then, you never know.
Submit the
and don't let that asshole out of your sight either.
Oh yeah. The second you take your eye off it,
anything could happen. Man, rim jobs.
Oh,
they're so common too.
This is a great idea for a movie.
It is?
Yeah, Bleached Butthole's Day Out. Where a guy bleaches a butthole and he's like, I'm going to rim job that later. But then it escapes. And he's chasing it through New York. Like it's in a construction site and gets lifted up on a big girder. And they're chasing after it. There's like two of them now for some reason. And now they are criminals also. And so we can laugh at their pain. Because they get hit with girders, they get bashed by gorillas and things at the zoo. All sorts of wacky hijinks as this... I'm imagining now a disembodied ass is just rolling down New York.
Like that one thing that one guy told us about. That's like feet and butthole. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah. There's a sex toy called the Flip Me and Fuck Me. Which is just an asshole with feet. And it's like that. We could actually just buy one of those and just put roller skates on it and push it down a hill and get two bumbling crooks. I don't know. Let's say Willem Dafoe and Brendan Fraser.
They're good. They're good actors.
In Bleached Butthole's Day Out. I just bleached this butthole. This Willem Dafoe. I just bleached this butthole. I can't wait to give it a good old rim job later. I'm going to get those cheeks. I'm going to pull them apart. And I'm going to go, that's some tasty bleached butthole, kids. You want to watch it? Y'all can't fucking wait. And Brendan Fraser's there like, but also don't forget that we are jewel thieves. And that means it's okay that this butthole might get away and we get hurt while chasing it down the streets. He's Scottish. We are criminals. That makes anything that happens to us okay in cinema. But don't worry, that bleached butthole ain't gonna get... What? He says as he turns around and sees that the bleached butthole, which is a flip me fuck me sex doll on roller skates, is now rolling down a hill. And he's like, come on, Stevie McSteels. You and I are gonna go get that butthole so we can lick the shit out of it. Well, not literally lick the shit out of it, because you bleached it nice and proper and gave it the requisite enema, which will allow you to lick that butthole tasty clean. Can eat my dinner off that asshole. Yeah, can eat our dinner off that asshole, but no one's eating till we get that butt. Come on! And they jump in a jalopy and chase it down the road in a car.
Like an old Mr. Magoo car?
An old Mr. Magoo car with written on the side of the car is "They are criminals, don't forget." And they steer the car and crash it into an oil tanker.
What?
It's just there, and it blows up, and they run out on fire, and their hair's like burning, and their skin's melting off, and they're looking at the camera going, "We're criminals! so it's okay that we boin. And the skin all melts off, and it's just a skull. And the skull looks at, and you can tell that Willem Dafoe's fiery hands have grabbed the cameraman holding the camera, and you can hear behind the cameraman choking, saying, "Please, Willem, stop! Stop, Willem!" And he just looks at the camera with his skull face. The eyes in the skull are still perfectly, fully, formed. They've not melted or anything. They're just staring, unblinking, because the eyelids have melted off. And they just stare, unblinking, while a big tongue, which also is still preserved, just looks at the camera and goes, "Hey, kids! Wanna die?" It cuts to the next scene. The arse is on the construction site being lifted on a girder, and there's Willem Dafoe and Phoebe McSteels, both fully normal.
Totally fine?
Yeah, it's like Tom and Jerry. It's fun. It's for the kids. It's a family film. Disney are involved. And they're like, "Get up there and get that asshole, Phoebe McSteels. Fuck off. You go up there and get it. No, you do it. Oh, okay." And Phoebe McSteels grabs onto a girder, and the girder's lifting up, and he's lifting him up, and he's not holding on to anything on the girder. He's just going, "Whoa! Whoa!" And Willem Dafoe down there, he's called Burglar Man, shouts up and goes, "Brandon Freight, Phoebe McSteels! Be careful balancing up there so you don't fall." And he's like, "Oh, I'm balancing all right. Oh, nothing will happen to me." And then the girder, the chain holding the girder up that's been craned up snaps, and the girder falls. And Brendan Fraser falls off and goes, "Oh, fuck me up the arsehole!" And he falls, and there's all these metal, jagged metal spikes coming out the ground, and he falls in them. And you can hear his spine with a wet snap just crack as a spike juts into it and comes out of his belly. And another one goes through his neck, and one's coming out through his eyeball from the back of his head, and the eye's just pierced on the end of it. And he's just in there, like blood's just pouring, bubbling up out of his mouth, and he's just going, "Kill me! It hurts so much!" And Willem Dafoe's like pointing, as Burglar Man is pointing and slapping his own thigh and going, "Ah! He fell on the spikes! Ah! He's a boigler, so it's morally acceptable." And he looks up and goes, "Oh, shit." And the girder falls on his head. And you hear the skull, like it's in slow motion, and you can see the head just collapse in on itself.
Oh, gross.
It's in slow motion, just the sound of skull just buckling under the pressure, and bone chips and bits of brain matter just fly towards the camera in ultra 3D vision. And smashes him. And that's basically the film. There are more scenes, but it's basically the same concept. It's they see the arse, chase the arse, and then, become hurt through the manner of their informed criminal careers.
What's the rating? How do you edit this for television?
It's a family movie.
Yeah, this is a G movie.
I was in my mind picturing trying to dub out all the swears.
For comic mischief.
Fuzz me up the ace, he could yell as he's falling. And then when he hits the spikes, I guess they just have to do the special effects over again, so it's like sweat or something that comes out instead of blood.
Yeah,
so it's just white. Yeah, like a whitish, clearish liquid. Yeah,
so he's sat there covered in this thick white liquid that's just bubbling out of his mouth.
Yeah, like the sweat code for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, he's Brendan Fraser.
He'll be fine.
Comic mischief. There's a bit of light language in the film, and like I say, comic violence.
That was some pretty harsh language. Not that I think language, it can be harsh as long as the meaning isn't harsh, but you were saying "fuck me up the ass" and "shit, I'm dying, oh fuck," and that sort of thing. It's pretty intense. You'd have to dub that out.
I don't remember saying any of that.
I think you did. I could be remembering wrong as well, but you'd have to change ass to ace or place or grass a lot.
Oh.
That's a good song. Have you seen The Bad Seed?
The Bad Seed.
Oh, I really want you to watch that. I was in a weird situation with my family the other day. They had a friend over who I didn't know who started talking about like, I live alone. I live alone, and late at night, I get the idea that aliens or supernatural forces, or I just don't do well with horror movies. I feel really uncomfortable about them. So then somebody was like, "Hey, let's watch The Bad Seed," which is about a little girl who's a sociopath who murders people, and he was pretty freaked out. It was interesting. He thought the actress, he felt really bad for her. He feels bad for actresses who have to play killers in movies when they're too young.
Ah.
Yeah. But there's a
She's
character.
a creepy little girl, though.
You've seen
Like,
it. Yeah. Yeah. I want Jim to play the next Bad Seed. So the
You want me
Bad
to
Seed,
play a creepy little girl in a film?
yeah, it's
I'll
black
do it.
and white. It's one of John Waters' favorite movies. Black and white, pink. I'm sorry, you can't tell because it's black and white. I think it's a pink dress, but it could be some other color. But you get the idea. Blonde pigtails. She comes up to her mother and goes, "Who has the sweetest mother? Who has the nicest mother? What would you do if I gave you a basket of kisses?" And then the mother goes, "I'd give you a basket of hugs." This is after she's murdered a boy at the pier. And there's a man who like does their trash. I guess I'd want Conrad to play him. Do you remember that character, Conrad?
Is he the one? I'm trying. Remind me who he.
His name's Leroy.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one who knows that she did it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
suspects she did. He tortures her, kind of, but then she ends up burning him alive. It's to be a good movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, something to think about. Not as good as your movie, Jim. Just came to me all of a sudden, a vision of you in a giant pink dress and blonde pigtails hugging a mother.
I would do that.
We
I
should
would
do the
do
question.
that for literally no money.
I've got ideas for you that I think would pay off and pan
Not
out.
like you, I'd do them. You
I
never
know.
want to do my ideas. You won't put on
Well,
a fish tank top and strip.
Your ideas are cute and funny, I think. I mean, my ideas are sweet and good-natured. Yours are funny, but not for real life. You know? I think mine are actually good, but I guess we all think that about our ideas. Whoa, people are apologizing in advance on the questions. Jim, Jonathan, I just want to apologize in advance for everyone that I bring to the ranks of the Shattered, says Andrew Blewett, who is the Jew 42. I don't think you need to apologize. It's still called the Shattered, I think. The people who listen to this, the diehard fans, still calling themselves that from the Podtoy days. And we're grateful that you guys are sticking with us. Some of you are probably not, and that's okay. But those that are, it's really nice. I was
Those
touched.
people are going to hear this anyway.
That's true, but they might hear about it from a friend. So I'll say thank
Those
you.
people don't have friends.
A lot of people are asking this, though. Shane Kreider said, since the show name changed, should the Shattered undergo a name change as well? I personally don't think so. I think that the appeal and therefore who it appeals to hasn't changed enough for a name change of the group. But I leave that up to you, Jim. What do you think?
What?
I figured. Albert Donato, who is Citizen Toe, asks, do double-A games exist? And if so, which is your favorite? I think a lot of double-A games exist. I can't remember how much you liked Binary Domain, Jim. I think you liked it quite a bit. Am I remembering that properly?
I thought Binary Domain was a very fun game, yeah.
Yeah. Would you classify that as double-A? It's certainly larger budget than, let's say, your average.
It's a mid-tier game. I tend
Yeah.
to call sort of video games that are made that aren't sort of the massive, big budget, big promoted things. I call them mid-tier games.
Sure. So would it go AAA, mid-tier, and then, I don't know, what's after that? Indie?
Budget.
Something? Budget title?
Yeah.
And then independent? Where does Nintendo lie in that? They're kind of mid-tier budget, AAA marketing. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, they're I guess they have the Wii U games are $50 still, right?
Yep.
Yeah, well that's good at least, but I mean it's not.
Wait a minute, I don't think they are. Some are and some aren't. Zelda HD was.
The thing about Nintendo titles is that they never go down in price.
It's
I
true.
mean, they just sit there forever. I was shocked that they lowered the price of Nintendo Land within a year. That is not their MO.
Yeah, that's a new MO, hopefully. I think that they've learned a lot from how they turned the 3DS around, which was selling about as poorly as the Wii U is sold this year at first, and is now doing well in the United States and really well in Japan. So I think they're taking a similar tact, which is hopeful. It's a lot harder to type Dismal Jesters questions with one hand, but I think I'm doing it.
What are you doing with the other hand, Holmes?
I'm holding the microphone.
No, is that what you're calling it these days?
Questions. Do I even need to spell it right? I think I spelled it. All right. That's good. Oh, I did it. I feel better. For Destructoid, I might be reviewing Senran Kagura Burst, which I'm somewhat reluctant to do because the main selling point is just giant lemon-shaped boobs, I guess. But I've heard it's actually a good game. I feel a little sad about it, though. And Chris Carter, our new reviews editor, is really bringing the hammer down. He wants that review in. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Just doing a little tease for the listeners. Oh, and I guess I can promote while I'm waiting. Oh, no, questions came in. No promotion. 47 wants to know, does this look infected? Why would you do that? I needed a real question. I should have read it before I thought so. Yeah, if you ever wonder if something looks infected, it probably does look infected and should go to a doctor to have it looked at.
You should just ignore it. Ignore all problems, they'll go away.
Eventually, yeah.
It'll sort itself out one way or another.
Well, yeah. You won't survive.
Overrated.
A lot of people don't know, like Fork doesn't know that Podtoid isn't us anymore. And I wonder what the new Podtoid would be. I'm going to write an email today to offer to be on the new Podtoid. I guess it's a bit awkward, though, because if they don't want me, they might have to feel sad and saying no. I hope Max Scoville's on it. Max Scoville has returned to Destructoid as of today, which is nice to see his face as always. He was on the show as well, or the other show, years ago. Good to have him back. What? Wow, some people ask multiple questions. Skid Row Trash wants to know if there's going to be a Dismal Jesters website. You can follow us on Twitter, at Dismal Jesters, or the Dismal Jesters, one or the other, run by Harry_Doctor. Thanks so much, Harry Doctor, for running the thing. Is there going to be a whole website, though? Oh, wait, there's the wiki already. Isn't there the library?
Well, there is already a wiki that Toby Carlson set up for us, which is absolutely delightful of her to do. And the Libsyn page for it, I think that if I'm not mistaken, that's something that's going to be worked on in the not too distant future, right, Jim?
Yeah, there's going to be stuff sorted out. The website for Dismal Jesters needs to be sorted. I've got a designer looking at it. And there's the wiki. It's all still very early stages, and because I changed jobs and everything, it's taking a while to get everything how I want it, but it'll get there.
Sure. Mr. Mixter, who is Mixter1267 on Twitter, is bringing up something we talked about nonchalantly. I was half paying attention, to be honest, on Twitter. But he wants to know, and this is a good question for you two, what do you think of sports culture compared to gaming culture? Which is worse? Do you have any feelings about that?
Well, I think they're very, very, very similar because sports are games.
Oh, true.
I mean, now they are games that we may not be participating in, but the same thing goes for professional game players. You can sit there, you can go out with your friends and play football and have fun, and then you have those professional people that do it and can make money at it. I fundamentally see no difference between being a fan of one versus a fan of the other.
Mm. Well, the fandom, there's definitely some similarities, and in my opinion, greater sports culture, it's so wide. It's hard to really pin down any sort of generalizations about it because tennis fans are very different than a lot of international soccer fans versus bodybuilding fans. But that said, it's a larger culture, and at its extremes, it's worse because you have, people rioting and stomping each other to death and flipping cars over. You don't see that in video games all that much. But at the same time, I think that video game culture, it seems a lot more like you're either going to get people who are very focused on trying to make it as welcoming and warm a community as possible. And then the flip side of that, which is people that are oftentimes just trying to amuse themselves, frequently with mean-spirited, disinclusive jokes, and are kind of jerks. So
I think if people were as into video games as a professional, sport, we'd have exactly the same issues.
Oh, sure.
I think it's just a matter of scale.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. And I think the fighting game community and the competitive gaming community in general really closely mirrors sports community as well, where you get that kind of wide spectrum, even more wide than in the regular gaming community. Anyway, I talked so much about it. I apologize. Jim, any thoughts on that?
Nope.
So many questions are coming in. Jeez.
Of course there is.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
People wanting to know things like idiots.
Spider-Man 3. This is the Reese Wilson, who is Reese My Socks Off on Twitter. Wants to know Spider-Man 3, Tobey Maguire versus Wicker Man, Nicolas Cage. Who would win?
Oh.
In a fight, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I mean, Nicolas Cage from The Wicker Man has proven he's not above punching a woman in the face to get the job done. He'll get down and dirty in a fight. While, Spider-Man 3, Tobey Maguire's too busy worrying about his feelings.
I really like that Spider-Man 3, though. It's shabby at being convincing, but it's packed with so many ideas that are so weird.
It's got its moments, that film.
Yeah, I like it. Oh, Lindsay Collins keeps asking about Duncan and Cam. I don't know why. Thank you, Lindsay Collins. I appreciate it. Lindsay Collins was the artist and animator on the intro for Sup Holmes. She's also done a fair amount of Podtoid-related things. First thing she ever said to me was, "Is Jim here?" That was in Tokyo in 2010. It was adorable. Oh. She's a great person. But she's talking about Duncan and Cam again. Maybe she's just discovered it. Duncan and Cam on YouTube. Watch it if you want to see me younger with a wig, looking at flowers and frolicking through the woods.
It's a great video series. If you look up Duncan and Cam on YouTube, it's a joy. I still quote it in my house.
That's very touching.
I still say things like, "It's his body that contains it."
I haven't actually watched it in 10 years, maybe. I send out the link, but that's all I can tolerate. And there's other ones. I don't know if I told you. That was actually the third one. We've never put the other two on YouTube. So there's more.
You should do it. Put it up.
Yeah, we might. There's one with at least 50 rabbits in one scene. So many rabbits in that scene. That barn smelled terrible. You can only imagine. How many more questions? 2 more, I think. There's a lot of questions. I don't always want to read them. How did Conrad kick all of those drugs he was addicted to? When will Conrad stop partying, stealing my babes? Says, hi, Goosebump Pig.
What?
Yeah, who also, that was Fork, who wanted to know if Dismal Jesters is in fact the new Podtoid, which it kind of is until there's actual new Podtoid, I guess. I think we're allowed to say that. Yeah, Conrad, did you kick those drugs?
I will never kick the drugs. It seems like a terrible way to treat drugs. Why would you kick them?
They're not real. I mean, they don't have feelings. You can get rid of them. Would you dump them? Would you just dispose of the drugs?
I don't know. It depends on the drugs, I suppose.
And did you steal that man's babes? Have you ever stolen a babe, Conrad?
Define babe.
Someone that you at least thought, well, I'm attracted to her. Yes.
Oh, I had to be attracted to her? No, never bothered.
Does Conrad still have a mustache? Yeah, you haven't been seen for a little bit.
Still have it.
That's good.
Still there. It's actually a little long. I got to trim it up. It's coming down over my lip.
People really, Jed Whitaker, Jed05 wants to know if we're doing all these videos, Max Scoville being back on Destructoid doing video, Jim doing a lot of video, if it's because it pays much better than writing. I don't know if we can talk about that too much. I can say
I
personally,
it's easier to do than writing.
Mm-hmm.
In some ways, it's easier to do than writing.
I just think a lot of my video work's been more successful than my written work.
Yeah,
so, it's become more fun for me to do, and people seem to get a lot more fun out of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's I've been doing video. I think have I been doing video longer than all of you guys?
Probably,
I think so. Probably. I think just by a little bit. The spontaneity of it and the amount of genuine feeling you can put into it after you've had some practice is easier for me than writing, certainly. In terms of money, you're probably not going to make a lot of money no matter what if you want to be in the video game press. You might get lucky. You might become a PewDiePie or a Steven Totilio, but chances are you're going to be mildly poor no matter what. More questions. We'll do one more. I want this to be a good one and on an upbeat note so you guys feel great. These aren't that great. No offense, guys. They want to know the Dismal Jesters' name, where it came from. That's L.A. Who's Stereosaur. He says, is the name a reference to something or completely original? The name Dismal Jesters.
It's something that was pulled out of my ass at the last minute.
Yeah, you were thinking Saucy Portions before that.
Yeah, Saucy Portions was one. Dirty Dinner. And Father's Dirty Dinner. They were two prospective ones.
I know it's not a marketable name, Dismal Jesters, but neither is PewDiePie or Smosh.
This isn't a marketable podcast.
It's not. It is okay to not be marketable sometimes, as long as you're true to your heart, your soul. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I told my wife.
Yes.
Before, because she's been at work today, and she always calls me when I come home, and so I warn her when I'm going to be doing a podcast or something, not to call because it will interrupt it. Now she just called.
Oh.
So we're going to count the number of times my wife tries to call. Because she'll do it like 3, 4, 5 more times. I'm not going to answer. It drives her nuts.
But she knows you're doing a podcast. This is
no, she's forgotten. That's the best part.
Oh, I get it.
She's completely forgotten because she's got the memory of a goldfish.
Oh, I like goldfish.
It's amazing. Oh, they're cute.
Yeah, they're great.
Swimming around through their castle.
Sure, sometimes pop-eyed.
Pooping where they live.
It's true. Are we going to promote the things we do at the end of this show anymore?
No one cares.
I'm doing it.
This isn't a marketable podcast.
It's true, due to the name. I'm going to quickly say that last week's Subhomes, just yesterday's Subhomes.
What's that show?
It is a show I do on Destructoid.com. It's a live show. You can join in, ask us questions. We get people who make and talk about video games on every Sunday, a different person. Just about every Sunday. This last Sunday we had Holly Pickering on. She did art for the Lego games, and now she's working on a first-person adventure game called Ether 1. It was just such a good episode. I was blown away by her. Wow. It was pretty good, Conrad, don't you think?
She was utterly charming. Yeah.
Yeah, she was ridiculously likable and forthcoming and talked about things that were funny and then suddenly made you want to cry. It was real good, so I hope people check that out. And then this Sunday, we have Porpentine. I felt like I needed to give her a shout-out. Porpentine makes twine games for the most part, and she is the only person I know who can spontaneously create ideas that are as bizarre, troubling, and amusing as Jim. Like Jim Porpentine fight would be amazing. So we'll see. That's on Twitter anyway, and online. I don't know how Porpentine will be live, but I'm going to invite her onto the show and see what happens. So that's this Sunday. That wasn't too bad. I didn't go on for too long. Promise to make those shorter.
No one cares.
I know.
Well, I'm done then with this fucking podcast. By the time you all hear this, I'm going to be over in North Carolina playing Killzone and crying.
You're going to like that Killzone, I bet.
It'll probably be fun. I hope it's fun.
Yeah, it looks fun.
I hope it's fun. I'll be doing all sorts of other work while I'm there. That I can't... Just trying to work in their offices and do things.
You're going to review that Zelda game, too?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I look forward to reading that.
I can do things.
Yeah, at The Escapist. That's where they can read your things.
Yeah, that's where I work. Or you can look at my stupid fucking videos on my YouTube channel, Jim Sterling.
Those are some good videos. Man, those top 10 videos are getting a lot of views sometimes. Huh?
People are liking them.
Yeah.
And Conrad does stuff on YouTube at Conrad Zimmerman. That's his name.
It's youtube.com/CH Zimmerman.
Oh, there you go. Fucking watch those. You idiot morons.
Delightful idiot morons.
Yeah, you delightful twat, you pricks, idiots. Bye. We'll see you later. Bye.
See you later. Bye.
I don't know why I wave with my hand when I do that.
I always do that too.
Yeah, I'm still doing it. I'm going to stop that now.